gets it onto his boot. Unbelievable, the dice. The Demons have won a belter.
Welcome back to Talking Footy. Great scenes. The Melbourne Football Club have got their mojo back. The crowds are up and running, and the Demon supporters got something to cheer about. And the man sitting alongside of me, he's a huge part of that, the co-captain, Nathan Jones. Congratulations, Nathan. It's great to watch you go about your business and your footy club playing beautifully.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, look, I think it's refreshing to see the group really taking some steps forward over the last month, and it's exciting for the Melbourne Footy Club, it's exciting for our fans, and more importantly, it's some real reward for the players in terms of the hard work they've put in.
Paul Roos, we have to ask you about, and I must admit we're talking about it in the ad break. Give us a little snapshot. What is the difference under his regime as coach?
Oh, I just think how he's harnessed the group, and he's got everyone together and really believing that we're good enough. And I think the messages he's pushed in the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks, that he thinks the talent pool's there and we're good enough and ready enough to win right now. And he's continued to push that. He's built the confidence of the group. He's built the confidence of players that have possibly been down over the last couple of years, and we're seeing that come to the fore. I think a lot of games we've been in them, and a couple we've won, and on the weekend we really rectified a few things from not winning and taking our chances against the Doggies, and made sure we made up for that on the weekend.
We heard Roosie speak. He came and addressed us as commentators pre-season, and I think we all walked away impressed by what we'd heard, but a lot of it was very simple and very basic. But the thing that I took away from that is that he actually spoke in a way that I think players can easily follow.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Like in terms of his game plan or system, I think it's really sound, and at the moment it's been really strong for us, and it is really simple. It's all about the team and each individual playing their role and being clear and totally understanding that and executing it on game day. And then on the flip side of that, how obviously respected he is, but I mean, in terms of his demeanour and the way he controls players, their personalities, and how he, I guess, delivers messages, he really motivates everyone in the right way and gets everyone on the same page. And you're seeing that we're starting to play some really consistent footy, and probably the main thing that's come from that is how well we're doing it as a team and as a unit, which is the main message he's really focused on.
You're a new skipper this year. Do you think the club made a little bit of a mistake when they named such young captains, like two blokes that were 20 years of age? And I know Grimes is still in the position now.
Oh, it's at the time I was totally supportive. I think Trenners had done a terrific job, and he really led. He still does lead the way, but unfortunately it probably took away from his footy a little bit. He'd suffered a few injuries, and therefore he decided to stand down, which I was again supportive of that. Probably at the time when both boys were announced as captain, I possibly wasn't in the best position in terms of my skills, probably weren't ready for it, but at the same time, I think over that period of time I've really worked on that area and tried to develop my ability to lead the way in terms of on field, but off field, being able to support younger players and try and I guess do my best along with Grimesy to push the club in the direction we want it to go in.
It's been a really emotional week for Richmond. I'm interested as to how you as a group of players, and you in particular as a leader, might have addressed the emotion that would have been in the Richmond rooms prior to that game at the weekend.
It's something we definitely spoke about. We knew that they would come out fired up, obviously wanting to respect a great champion of their club, but I think it was really set up in the way Roosie had addressed it earlier in the week, and even prior to the game, he'd mentioned that we weren't only it wasn't only Richmond honouring Tommy Hafey's legend, it was the entire footy community, and we had the same opportunity as Richmond to honour that on the day and play in the spirit that he would want the game to be played in. And I think that really resonated with the group, and we knew that we'd have to be on top of the emotion that they would bring in, particularly in the sort of that first 10-minute period of the first quarter, and be able to maintain that and continue to drive throughout the game.
Nathan, I want to ask you about Jack Watson. It's a question you get asked a lot, and we're paid to give opinion, and been critical of him in the past, but equally delighted to see him on the weekend at a critical stage stand up, kick 3 goals, 2 of them in the last quarter, and had a listen to him after the game. Let's take a listen to Jack Watson. I thought he was very humble, but pretty pointed in what he had to say.
Bloody fantastic, to be honest. this team's ready to win. We're sick of what we've been through, and today was just fantastic.
What about yourself? You've got a lot of criticism over the years for your poor work rate, whether that be the case or not, but that last quarter, you really put yourself to the sword, didn't you?
Yeah, well, everyone has their say, you know. I can't do anything about that except keep doing what I'm doing, work hard. That's what I'm trying to do.
Has it got to him in the past as a criticism? I think he was thrown under a bus a bit early and played too early and put up as the poster boy. Did it get to him? Did they manage him well at the start?
Oh no, I don't. From my opinion, I don't think it was managed well at all. I think one thing Roosy's addressed this year was there's not going to be a saviour, or the young players aren't going to come in with great expectation. They're going to learn their role and play their role down at Casey if it has to be, and come in and they'll be ready to play footy without the expectation and the pressure of them, you know, kind of lifting the club to where we all want it to get to. And I think Watsy found himself in that position. I totally agree with him though with what he said in terms of so many opinions. I think that's one of the hard things to deal with in the footy community, is everyone does have their say, but his ability to, you know, I guess push that to the side and take care of what's really important to him has been, you know, really impressive. And I think we've seen over the last month he's really kind of found his position down forward, and obviously the confidence and belief Roosy's given in him to you know, harness his talent and perform. We've started to see some consistent footy from him, and it's a credit to him, really.
As a team, how have you handled so many big losses? I mean, what do you do after a game, after a big loss? You had one this year against the Hawks. You've obviously had some good wins, but what do you do when you have a loss like that?
They're really difficult, you know. Like I wasn't sure going into the season where we were going to be at, and I don't think the group did either. And there was probably some trepidation, like sort of heading into the season. And that loss to West Coast was kind of, I guess, a line in the sand. Like we'd been in the position before, and that West Coast game we'd fallen back into how we'd played in previous years and gone back into our shells, and it was really clear that we weren't playing to the plan that we'd practiced over pre-season. So Roosie really stripped it back and we went back over the stuff we did in pre-season, and he kept driving home those key messages about team and playing your role, and we need 22 blokes, and I think from that moment in the season, we've taken small steps forward every week, and we've had some disappointing and frustrating losses where we could have won, you know, but credit to the boys, we've continued to front back up at each week and continue to try and get better. And I think now we're starting to really get that belief that we can win games. We're not here to make up the numbers and be competitive. We want to win, and we're getting the taste for that, and we're excited about the rest of the season.
Nathan, we know that Mitch Clark has an illness and he's taken leave from the game. He tweeted something in the last 24 hours or 48 hours about him going back into the gym and maybe doing a bit of training. Have you got some hope in your heart that he'll come back and play for Melbourne at some stage?
I haven't really thought about that, to be honest. I would love him to, and I think the playing group would love him to, but I think for him to be doing that, that's great for him. It shows kind of where he's at, and obviously he's feeling a little bit better in himself to kind of get out there, and I'm assuming that would be on medical advice for him to get out there and get active again, and you know, kind of get himself feeling good. And but I think it's probably too early to kind of comment on it. You know, he was really struggling there for a bit, and I think the club handled it really well. The Players Association and the competition handled it really well, and it's something that obviously needed to be addressed, and it was in a really kind of sympathetic way. And yeah, look, good luck to Mitch. We'd love him back, but at this stage it's more about his health and his personal well-being.
You've got a big couple of weeks coming up. Wife's pregnant, baby on the way, and is it true you're on the record of saying if it happens game day, you're out, you're at the birth? Is that right?
Yeah, definitly.
Definitely out?
Definitely. It's probably, I think we're 34 weeks on Thursday, so we're about 6 weeks away if it goes full term, but yeah, we'll wait and see. I think the game we do play, it's
travelling.
Yeah, we're Fremantle in Darwin is the week, so
yeah.
Smart player, I reckon, Tim, because the chance of it happening is almost nil, but he gets the credit anyway, doesn't he? He's a good
I'm
guy.
just wondering though, have you left some space somewhere on your body to get a baby tattoo?
There's plenty of room there, mate, don't you worry.
Hey, Nate, it's great to catch up with you. We're very excited about the way you're going personally. You've had a great year and had a great time in the game, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Good on you, Nathan.
Co-captain of the Demons, Nathan Jones, who is playing beautifully and his side's going great guns.